Hi, I'm Ben Gums from Tri-County Communications with another Tech Minute video on the proper way to turn off your devices and to restart them. I'm going to focus on the computer and a tablet or a phone. Let's start with the computer. So to properly shut down your computer, look for the Windows icon in the lower left corner of the screen. Click on it and you'll have a menu that pops up that looks like this. This is all of your apps plus a small menu of little icons. The first one from the bottom looks like a circle with a line through it. When you put your mouse on it, it indicates it's called Power. Click on Power, and then another menu pops up that says Sleep, Shutdown, or Restart. So if you want to just put your computer to sleep for a little while, for a few hours in the day while you do stuff, and just don't want it running, you can choose Sleep. And then just hitting the enter key on the keyboard should wake it back up. But at the end of the day, or if you're going to be away from your computer for a long time and maybe don't want it checking email or doing anything in the background, then you choose shutdown. And when you choose shutdown, it'll ask you, it'll turn the computer all the way off, so nothing is running, no electricity is being used, no apps are running, email's not checking, anything like that. If you are having problems with your computer, such as kind of a weird slowness, or programs are not responding right, or something where just something doesn't feel right, then choose Restart, and it will turn the computer off and then back on. I don't suggest leaving the computer in sleep mode or just letting it go to sleep on its own after a certain period of time and doing that day after day after day. Windows, it runs better when things are shut down all the way, or at least restarted, so that all of the files and processes that are open can be shut down and put away properly and then brought back up the next time you use your computer. Sleep mode doesn't allow that. So if you have a laptop, you can also change what the laptop lid does, and also the power button on the laptop. As I know a lot of people, when they're done using their laptop, they just close the lid thinking that's the best thing to do with their laptop when they're done with it. Now that may or may not be. So what you can do to find out how yours is set up is in the search box down here, you would type in Power Options, and it will automatically come up with this screen right here. This is where you can choose on battery, or when it's plugged into power, how long before your screen turns off. I have mine set to never because I use a monitor like this. So my laptop is actually under this table, so I can close the lid and it doesn't shut itself off. And when it's on sleep, which I don't put mine in sleep anyway, but if I did, it would also give me those choices as well. Now if you want to change what closing the lid does or pressing the power button, you can look over here to the right. It says Related Settings, Additional Power Settings. So when I click on this, this is from the old Windows control panel setting, where I can choose what the power buttons do or what closing the lid does. So I have mine set to do nothing on the power button or the sleep button, which I don't have, but some computers do, or when I close the lid. So if I take mine from room to room, I can close the lid and it doesn't shut anything off. It doesn't lose my screen or anything, and that's how I can use it with a spare monitor. Is I can, lift my table up in the morning, press the power button to turn it on, close the lid back up, and it starts and runs just like a normal computer. It doesn't put itself to sleep. However, if you want the computer to be able to shut itself off just by closing the lid, let's say you have a dedicated workspace with the lid open all the time, you can just set it up so that when you close the lid, you can choose that it shuts down. Or maybe when you press the power button, that it shuts down. That way it'll go through the entire process of properly shutting down without you having to take those steps in the corner, like I said, with clicking Start and Power and then Shutdown. You can do this all in one process right from here. So this is how I have mine set up. I have mine to never go to sleep, never shut off due to inactivity, and when I close the lid or press the power button, it does nothing. I have to actually press and do a shutdown in order to turn my computer off. this works best for me. I would suggest trying, to see what would work best for you. Try a couple different things. So again, that was typing power options in the corner to give you this main screen, and then over here the additional power settings to bring up the screen for what the lid and the power buttons do. So that's a Windows computer. Now let's look at a phone or a tablet. So with phone or tablet, it's typically the opposite. You don't shut these down completely all the time. You just put them into sleep mode. So somewhere on your phone, you're going to have a single button by itself, whether it's on the top or on one of the sides, and that is your power button. So a quick tap of the power button is all you need to do to turn it on and turn it off from sleep mode. And if it's in a sleep mode like this, so I can just tap my button, it comes up to my screensaver, and then I just swipe, or some people have a home button they have to press, or a swipe in a different way, or have a code, but that's what turns your phone on, or wakes it up rather. So because it's only in sleep mode all the time, I can still get calls, I can still get notifications of texts, I can still get notifications of anything. It's still checking my email, and apps are still kind of running in the background so they can do their updates. So for the most part, with a phone or a tablet, all you need to do is just tap the button and it goes off, tap the button again, the wake up screen comes on, and you swipe or tap or do what you need to do with your phone to bring it back up. You're never typically turning it all the way off. However, if your phone is experiencing a problem, let's say it is very, very slow to respond to your touch inputs, or maybe an app, every time you open it, it closes, or maybe just something seems off with your phone, you can do a shutdown or a restart. So to do that, you would press and hold the power button for a few seconds, and then you'll get some sort of a menu that'll say like power off or restart or something like that. So if I do power off, it'll say it actually just shuts the phone off, and then it'll basically just stay off until I press and hold the power button again for a number of seconds, and then it will boot the phone back up. So this is the equivalent of shutting your computer down and then turning it back on yourself. This fixes about half of the weird phone issues, or better, that I've encountered. Slowness or an app closing unexpectedly, things like that. So now that my phone's off, I press and I hold the power button again until I start seeing something on the screen, and now it's going to take about 1 or 2 minutes in order to come up, so I can just set it on the counter and wait till it's working again. And even when the screen comes back on, give it a little bit of time, because the internet may not have been connected, it might not be on the network yet, so even after you get the screen with all the icons, give it another minute or so before trying to use it. So again, with computers, I recommend shutting them down regularly, just to keep Windows responsive, and putting its programs away and shutting down processes so they're not left on over length of time, because that can cause weird problems. And with phones, you actually don't shut them down every night. You just tap them to put them to sleep when you're done with them, and then tap to wake them back up, and you only need to restart a phone or a tablet when you're having issues with it. So if you have any more questions, you can just give our office a call, or stop in, or use our webpage tccpro.net and click Customer Resources and scroll down and put a question in the Contact Us box, and we'll help you out. I hope this has been helpful to you. Thanks for watching.